Good afternoon, I'm Malcolm Jordan and this is your midday news fix for Monday, the 29th of April. The Associate Health Minister's promising not to politicise paying for pharmaceuticals. David Seymour says the funding model for drug buying agency Pharmac is outdated. He's this morning announced a $1.7 billion boost to its budget over the next 4 years. Seymour says medical technology is being revolutionised and there are many opportunities to do better.
We are absolutely committed to having an arm's-length, formula-driven agency that makes funding decisions based on hard scientific and economic data.
Meanwhile, a colorectal surgeon says despite a high price tag, planned care targets are the best way forward. Briefings to Health Minister Shane Retty suggest it'll cost $723 million over 2 years to shrink wait lists for first appointments and treatment using planned targets. Health New Zealand is making it clear these differ from final targets. Christchurch surgeon Chris Wakeman says working to such goals is essential.
The one target we're really missing is first assessment targets. And that's where they've really turned the tap down, that if you can't get onto a waiting list because you can't be seen in an outpatient clinic.
Phones off and brains on for students across the country. From today, government legislation forbids pupils using or accessing phones at school. Many schools began phasing in the rules during Term 1. Taranaki's Oponaki High School principal Andrea Hooper told Kerry Woodham her school has been phone-free for a couple of years.
The area I suppose we haven't really policed hugely was the break times, but because the students weren't using them in class, it tips out into break time.
Police are investigating a fatal house fire in Fung overnight. Claudia O'Neill reports.
Fire crews were called to a property on Thomas Street in Tikipunga about 3 a.m. following reports of a car fire that then spread to a house. A man was pulled from the burning building but died a short time later. A scene examination is underway and a post-mortem and identification of the man's body will be carried out over the coming days.
A 27-year-old man's been charged with aggravated robbery and failing to stop after 5 people smashed cabinets and took items from a Michael Hill Jewellers in Auckland yesterday afternoon. MB says the government is still owed close to $20 million in unpaid MIQ fees. It's more than 2 years since managed isolation wound down, and efforts to recover the money include engaging debt collection agencies. Political editor Jason Walls has more.
The total MIQ bill for the 2 years it was in operation was just over $200 million. Despite the majority being paid back, $19.7 million remains outstanding. Officials remain in the process of collecting what's owed, saying this is taxpayers' money and people should repay what they owe.
To sport, Kiwi driver Scott McLaughlin's put his recent IndyCar controversy in the rear vision mirror with a dominant race win at Alabama. Golfers Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry have prevailed in a playoff to win the PGA Tour's teams event in New Orleans. Ryan Fox and playing partner Garrick Higo finished in a tie for 4th. A largely settled Black Cap squad is expected to be unveiled this afternoon for June's T20 Cricket World Cup across the West Indies and United States. I'm Malcolm Jordan. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.